Tonight, you're looking live at Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making his pitch to voters in Utah. He's there trying to get enough signatures to get on the ballot as an independent candidate for president. Here's some of what he told his supporters just moments ago.
The American dream for my generation, the central proposition of the fundamental proposition of the American dream was that if you worked hard, if you played by the rules, that you would be able to finance a home. You'd be able to take a summer vacation. You could raise a family. You could pay for your retirement on one job. There's nobody in that generation who believes that that promise is going to be kept to them.
Kennedy has consistently been polling over 20%, and that, to state the obvious, is enough to impact the outcome of the election. So tonight, we went straight to hear his supporters to talk about why they want him to be president. Lucy Kafanov is there at that rally out front in Salt Lake City.
Ready for Kennedy 24!
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hitting the campaign trail in Utah as part of his long-shot bid to win the presidency.
I'm here to declare myself an independent candidate.
A scion of the country's most famous Democratic dynasty, now setting his sights on the White House as an independent.
The Democrats are frightened that I'm going to spoil the election for President Biden, and the Republicans are frightened that I'm going to spoil it for President Trump.
For some Utah voters, it's a message that has appeal.
I'm planning on voting for RFK just because we need a little bit of diversity in this political climate nowadays. I think it's just gotten a little too much, red and blue. The world's not black and white.
The campaign is hoping to gain traction with young voters.
So we have a whole generation of kids who, for whom the American dream is just a broken promise.
I was hesitant to want to vote for another lesser of two evils, and all of a sudden RFK Jr. popped up on my feed.
Red Owen, a student at Brigham Young University, voted for Donald Trump in the last election. But when Kennedy began appearing on some of his favorite podcasts, he says he was won over by his anti-establishment message.
He approaches issues with understanding of the grievances that both sides of the anti-establishment movement feel. President Trump and President Biden are motivated in their candidacies against one another by grievance and vengeance and spite.
People can disagree and still respect each other.
Kennedy is a controversial candidate, known for amplifying baseless conspiracy theories, particularly about vaccines.
If you got vaccinated, you're more likely to get sick, you're more likely to get severe illness, and you're more likely to die than if you were unvaccinated.
But some supporters are willing to overlook that.
The Kennedys are really royalty in this country because they do the right thing.
Bernie Garcia, a self-described liberal who's voted for Democrats in the past, says he likes how Kennedy takes on corporations and environmental causes.
It's something that both the left and the right, I think, can find common ground on.
And you don't feel like Robert Kennedy is too far outside of the mainstream?
I think we need someone far outside of the mainstream.
He's offering things that I think appeal to many Americans without necessarily falling into a strict ideology.
Kennedy faces an uphill climb. Joe Cook is a volunteer helping the campaign gather signatures for ballot access in Utah.
He's not going to appeal to everyone, but he is speaking to everyone. And I think some have...
So, Lucy, you talk to people who obviously don't mind Kennedy's conspiracy theories, it seems, and he's obviously does not seem to be shying away from those, does he?
Yeah, not at all. In fact, in an interview posted just today, he claimed once again that the coronavirus was a bioweapon. It's something that he's written an entire book about. Take a listen.
The U.S. intelligence agencies, particularly the CIA, through USAID, became the biggest funder of bioweapons research at the Wuhan lab. SARS-CoV-2 is certainly the product of bioweapons research.
Some of Kennedy's own siblings denounced his presidential bid as, quote, dangerous, but his supporters aren't fazed. They like his name. They like what he has to say in terms of his anti-corporation, anti-establishment message. They like what he has to say about the environment and housing. And many of them, at least the ones that we've spoken to, are not getting their information about him through traditional news sources. Aaron?
All right, Lucy, thank you very much. Lucy's obviously there, Harry Enton in the room, where RFK Jr. is speaking right now, full room. And interesting, as she points out, his supporters are getting their information from other places. 2 Latino voters in her reporting who support Kennedy, obviously, crucial group. And you got a lot of issues at stake right now.
Yeah.
So how is Kennedy doing with Latino voters?
It didn't surprise me. You know, I was speaking with your producer, Susie, beforehand, who had pointed that out and said, is there anything in the numbers that sort of is emblematic of something larger? And in fact, if you look amongst Hispanic voters, we basically have a three-way tie between Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and
That's
RFK
amazing.
Jr. He's getting 31% on average of the last two Quinnipiac University polls. It's his best racial or ethnic group. He's doing far better amongst them than he is among white voters, and slightly better than he does among African-American voters.
I mean, but this is incredible. You know, when you hear, I just keep this number up for a second,
Yeah.
people talk about this race. Everyone understands Kennedy is playing a role right now.
Yes.
But it's still put forth as a two-horse race.
Yes.
And that's not a two-horse race.
That
Just
is
to
not.
say, that is a 30-30-30,
Yeah.
which is incredible. So does Kennedy have room to grow his support from here? We've seen, and I remember when the first poll came out, it was at 19%. People were shocked. Then the second, then the third. It's been 8 months.
Yeah.
It's been steady, which is obviously incredible. Can it go up?
It absolutely can go up. You know, one of the things I often like to do is go underneath the hood, go beyond the numbers, as we might say. And if you look at the net favorability scores, that's the favorable ratings minus the unfavorable ratings. Look, Kennedy is underwater, but he's only slightly underwater. He's doing significantly better than Donald Trump, significantly better than Joe Biden. The fact is that as more people get to know about RFK Jr., it wouldn't be surprising to me if his numbers went up, because the people who do know a lot about him are actually pretty split on him versus, say, Trump or Biden, where the voters are overwhelmingly negative on those two.
Right. So they're settling, at least it feels like at this point,
Yeah.
in those two cases from the numbers. So then it comes out to a matter of you've got to grow it, and then you have to have turnout.
Yeah.
You talk about a lot of voters, as Lucy says, who's getting their information from alternative sources. Are they going to show up on Election Day?
I'm not sure. This is probably the most negative number for RFK Jr. Amongst those who say they're extremely motivated to vote in 2024, we see that, in fact, he's getting much lower share of the vote than he is getting amongst those voters who say they're less motivated. 27% amongst those who say they're less motivated voters versus just 10% of those who are extremely motivated voters. So the fact is, this to me is the big question going forward for RFK. Can he get those folks who are less motivated to turn out to vote, those untraditional voters? If he can,
Right.
he has a real chance to shake up the race.
Right. And of course, I'm sure Biden or Trump would say those less motivated, they're just angry with the other choices, and maybe they'll come around, but
Maybe.
we don't know.